Welcome back, everybody. What do you enjoy in chess the most? Do you enjoy playing a brilliant move and then the answer and recognizing it? Do you enjoy watching high elo players like Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, or anyone else playing Tata Steel or any other world champion? Championship. Or do you like watching low elo games and then we sit here, we laugh, we cry, our heads hurt, and then we're sick, and then when we have to pay hospital bills for those in America. Well, today you're gonna feel like that. I will show you a couple games that were played in the low elo bracket of the Liga Chess Tournament. As of you know, some of you know, the mid elo bracket ended a week ago. I got fourth place, very solid considering the people that I played on the tournament. Yeah, I'm pretty happy for the result. Wish I did a little better, but I'm going to show you the low elo now, which began yesterday, but I couldn't upload it yesterday because I was tired. I stayed all the way till 3 a.m. To watch the games, and I couldn't move my muscle. So I will show you the games today. Before we proceed with the games, there is two games are played with the YouTuber that owns the Low Chess Safe Space server. Link on the description, and also my Discord server is also in the description and the comments. You can also check that out. All right, here we let's begin the games. Shorter introduction this time, because this game is one of a kind. These games you're about to see are one of a kind. You will not want to move away from the screen. Buckle up, grab snacks, and let's get to the video. Okay, so first game, I'm gonna be honest, almost not a single game was good, but all of them are fun. So it was a knight of 6, reverse Chigorin defense. I have no clue what it is, and now we're back on the Benoni. Yes, we're actually on a Benoni. Haven't got too many Benoni defenses on this channel, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Knight d2, nice little reroute. G6, trying to fianchetto, but here's the problem, is the pawns are not supposed to block the dark square bishop. So that's the one tactical flaw, strategic flaw you can call it. Bishop g7, bishop g2, castles, a6 to prevent any knight jump ideas, and a4 to stop any b5 ideas. Knight c4, which does absolutely nothing. And then a queen f3, just ask the knight a question, and f5. Actually, here the computer would prefer a nice little h3 here, go knight, and then nice little f4. Which apparently the engine is like, this and that, but after this and this, it's kind of bad. Also, this is top engine. It's absurd. But queen f3 blocks these ideas. f5 is the beginning of the fun. h3 kicks out the knight, knight f6. Blocks the rook vision, but it's fine. Develops a bishop for free. And g4, absurd move. The computer would like to be a little passive by going back with the queen, although nobody will play that. And instead, white gambits the pawn. But then black sacrifices a knight for no absolute reason. I guess his idea was infiltration in a weak ace file or a weak g file, but it doesn't quite work. Your pieces you're not equipped to attack yet. That's the problem. Bishop takes c2. Yeah. So the whole idea of this is to discover attack the queen. There is absolutely nothing else. You just move the queen here, absolutely. But no, he hangs the queen in one move. Terrific. Now the rest of this game is just pure pandemonium of who manages to convert the endgame. Obviously, the one who converts the endgame is the white side. If I sat and analyzed the entire game, would be here for hours, because it's just a clean conversion. Here you win like a rook, and you just come back. That's a passive move, but it's fine. You trade, and you get all this pressure everywhere. You class down the queen side, and you just have passed pawns and a mate in one, which isn't spotted. It's fine, though. You get an active king. A game goes on for a couple of moves. Here it's actually pretty fun. Okay to sacrifice your queen, because you have, at the end of the day, like a pass, like pawns everywhere, and you got a bishop and a rook, and you just win. Like, you just take everything, and you just got these passed pawns. Nobody will stop you. And eventually, slowly but surely, you just checkmate in... Yeah, he made a knight. He made a knight. King a1. c1 equals rook, which, and then a couple of moves later, he delivers a checkmate with a discover check. Savage! Now let's go to the next game. Alright, so this game is between 500 and 1200. I'm sorry about the rating disparity for these, some of these games. Unfortunately, with time zone, not by rating. That's why the ratings are a little bit sparse. D4 D5 to England. Okay, so if you want to play the England, better do it on speed games like Bullet or Blitz. If you do it on daily and rapid, people are prepared. Because what will happen is they will take, you will attack it, they will defend it, and then they will attack it again. They'll play this. Or even better, they'll even play this, which I play. And if you take like this, they're just gonna go here. And if you take, it's plus 1.3. And then if you just do nothing, they're gonna get their bishop out. Like this. Now mate is threatened. You gotta stop that. So why, despite taking a pawn and then giving it back, has more development than you do? Don't play the England, okay? Instead of that, we have this and this. I mean, it's not bad. It's a way. You just give the pawn immediately. Black doesn't capitalize on the free pawn. I don't know what Black is trying to do. I don't know if that's England Gambit theory or not. Knight f3. Okay, defending the pawn. Developing knights, developing pawns. The reason why people say knights before bishops is the bishop sets just have more squares to go to. Like, for example, you could have wanted to develop the bishop here or even here. But here is okay. Maybe if you want to trade the knight, not to let it there and die. And now, f6. Obviously, the idea is that if you take, then they will take back with the knight. Right? No. G takes f6. Folks, let me tell you something. If you want to play f6 and risk the safety of your king, take like this. That way, one, you develop a piece. Two, the knight defends the only two squares that can give you a check. Okay? What the fuck is this? Anyway, bishop d2. I'm pinning. d6. Just allowing this knight to do this. Top engine move allows this knight. 2 plus 2.3. e3 is more human, but also kind of nonsense because you might want to go for e4 instead, which is a far better move and it also takes up more space. e3. And now f5. So, a couple moves later, you played f6 with the idea to develop a knight. You fail to that, and then a couple moves later, you're like, I'm going to play f5. Terrific! Not only waste time, make your king even more weak. Bishop d3, attacking a pawn, actually putting pressure to the pawn, because it's isolated, and it's very close to the king as well. It's the f-pawn, which was the g-pawn, and turned to f-pawn because you were trash. Knight f6. Castles. And look at the engine. He wants to castle kingside. We'll get to that. a6. Bishop d5. Now here what you want to do is develop as fast as possible. Yes, I know the engine has this, but then you go here, and they take you go here, and if they give this check, well, it's a free queen. And if they do nothing, you go queenside. Just get out of the danger. I know it hangs the bishop, but it's a hypothetical move order. If you want to develop, castle queenside. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna get bullied. But no, we have bishop b5 and bishop d7. Maybe his idea is to castle queenside. Maybe I doubted the 500. a3. Asking the bishop a question. The bishop answers. Very bad move as well. Don't trade bishops for knights for no absolute reason. I mean, if you're the guy with a horse, of course you want a bishop for the knight. Because if the position is open, the bishops will dominate, especially if there are two. If there's one bishop, you need to close the position. But now, that's kind of hard to do. You can't really counteract the dark squared bishop, because all your pawns are kind of split, and when the pawns are split, it's not good. 95. Inviting a second exchange, which he takes. And now, after this, and this, there's a queen trade. Queen e7, doesn't want to trade. Queen d4. And he castles kingside the top engine move. This is top engine. I do not kid you. I don't know why anyone in their mind would castle kingside. I have no clue. Only 500 do that stuff and they get away with it. And then he plays king z7. Top, actually not top engine move. This is the top engine move. Completely just doing this. I guess the engine is like, there's no checks. That's what the engine is thinking about. And even if they try to give a check, you hang a bishop. So, you can't do that. Shockingly, the king is safe. But a 500 is playing. So only God knows what he's gonna play. Bishop takes f6 check. Rook takes f6. Spinning your own rook! That's a problem! That's why taking the queen here is good. Even though there's a queen trade, it's not so good for white because you extinguish your attack and I have to win an endgame. Which, considering that black is like 2 pawns down, you should win this on your sleep. But it's gonna be a little slower to do it. It's gonna be just gonna take a little more. But rook takes f6 pins yourself, queen d7. And a forced queen trade. Actually, it's not quite forced. And instead of black simplifying down to this endgame, which is losing, of course, but black would have more chances, he goes here and hangs all of his pawns. Now the rooks are coming. The pawn is a loft for the king. When you can't find any good move, just make a loft for the king in the endgame. Because you don't have a back rank problems. At some point, you might just forget completely about what your opponent is doing. For example, they might do like something like this, and they go here. You might just forget about and attack a pawn, and then you get mated. So always make a loft for the king in the endgame. Especially where rooks or queens are on the board. Because there's back rank problems. And if you can't play h3, for example, let's say bishop was here. This was like a bishop, which actually, let's say, hold up, I'm finding a good square. Let's say this here is a bishop, not a rook, and it covers the only escape square. Just make this square. I know it brings like some light square weaknesses, but it's a loft for the king. Okay, cool. Always make a loft for the king in the endgame. King c5 and g3. Okay, h5, king c2, bringing the pawns, rook e8, rook c7 check. You win this endgame on your sleep. Even if you're 800 here or 1000, you would 100% win this with white. There's absolutely no way you lose this. Rook d to d7, rook g6. Take. And now, all the pawns are falling, one by one. Yep, attacking the rock. There we go. There he goes. Actually, here would have been even better to just go here. Because if black doesn't do anything, like, black just plays a pawn move like this, that's kind of mate. I think it's very close to mate. But it's not, because the king has one escape square at all times. h4 check, king f6, rook a6 check, king e7, rook h6 targets weak pawns. Now, white could have probably won here faster than this method, but okay, it's fine. I digress. Trades to the rooks, winning king and pawn, because the split nature of the black pawns, and soon we have a queen, and a mate very soon. There it is. It's gonna be a little bit more pretty. I digress. Let's go to the next game. Alright, so this one was played by my friend here, and this guy. So my friend's 1000. The guy he's playing is like 500. So let's jump onto this game. Let me tell you, folks. I was prepared for a lot in this game. I mean, we'll start with an e4. Now my friend normally plays like g2 systems and goes for king fianchetto stuff, but no, e4. Oh, I spoiled some. Yo, just the com is not working. Again, d6, the perk. The perk is like a King's Indian, but probably more preferred by low levels. Or an attempt to misplay the friend's defense. My friend goes knight f3. Now, if you wanna counter a nice little perk, just put 2 pawns to center. They'll go for their mainline things like modern defense. Like just put 3 pawns in the center. They go to attack the pawn. Just develop the knights. And if you really want to, go 4 pawns. Throw 4 pawns. They castle. You develop. You're fine. If that happens, you lock down the center. If they go here, you just go here. And if they go here, you take like this. Look at you. 3 pawns in the center. I know black is like some counterplay coming, but you're just gonna castle. And they find a way to develop. You're gonna go into the offensive. You're just gonna develop your queen and threaten multiple things. And now the ensign here wants to give up a pawn. Like, completely. The ensign wants to give up a pawn to win this pawn. But who's gonna see that? You're gonna capture like this? Yeah, well, they still win the pawn, but you're just gonna go here. If they go here, you just defend your rook. If they trade, which is very unlikely, your position is bad. Your position is very good. I didn't mean bad. Bad for the opponent, but not for you. You got all your pieces out. That knight is gonna have a tough time coming into the game. But I digress. Knight f3. Knight f3 sacrificed the option to have 4 pawns in the center. G6. I told you. D4. 2 pawns in the center. This is the classic newbie setup. 2 knights like this, 2 bishops like this, and 2 pawns like this. Now, here, black would have played this to disrupt some time of the opponent, but he does not play that. He castles. Castles, e5. That is one of the major pawn breaks on the perk, I think. Rook e1. Completely sacrificing the pawn. He doesn't take it. G3. Let me tell you something, folks. If you want to play G3, make sure there's a bishop here. Because if you play G3 now, your light squares are very weak. And they can be easily exploded in the future. So if you want to play a nice little G3, you better have a bishop on the F1 square and then go here. Or even B3. It's the same thing. H6. Creates more problems than the positives. The problem with this is that you're just weakening your light squares as well. You weaken everything. You weaken your light squares. And probably later the dark squares. A3. Kind of giving the opponent a choice. Here, white should have been aggressive. Maybe take the pawn, but maybe go A4. Take some more space. Or even grab the pawn. If they grab like this, you got an advantage. Congrats. And I will throw in multiple things. But no. White gave the move back to black. And sorry, I just coughed a little bit. Back to black, and I can't speak today for some reason. So F5 loses the game. E takes E5. This, and then check. And after this, you go here. And if they take, you go here. And you lose the game. Okay. Good. He takes you the G-pawn. And then my friend plays bishop takes F5. Disregarding the fact that there's a rook there. Take knight H4. But then you take the knight back. Then why is it plus 0.4? You took a knight. You gave your knight to take a knight and a pawn. That's because there's a fork on D4 like this. There's a fork. And you gotta sacrifice the bishop and stuff like this, and then go here, and then it's very messy. You go here. Yeah. None of that happens. Rook F7. Queen takes H5. Knight F8. Nobody sees the fork, by the way. Knight G6. The fork is still hang. Rook F5, Queen E2. Knight takes C6, the knight is gone. Rook A to D1, D5. No one is seeing the fork. Absolutely nobody. D takes C5. Rook takes C5. Queen D3. And C6. Oh my god. I'm relieving the game. I'm relieving the game from 12 at night, midnight. And I was like, holy crap, what am I watching? Rook E6. Queen D3. B5, absolutely no reason. B5 is back, creates a backwards pawn. Doesn't do anything to develop pieces. You just have this stupid bishop just laying here. Just develop it in one square. And then hangs a pawn. Just develop it when you have the chance. A4. That's a very weird move. You really don't want to do that. You really just want to play in the center. You really want to... Look, this bishop is very strong. Okay? This bishop just exerts so much pressure on my position. Play that. Okay, a4, a6, rook a1. Basically hoping for this, which is very bad. Black will not do that, but for 500, so b4. 92. Now white's getting a little kicked out. Rook a to b1. Sometimes when you take like b pawns or even z pawns, with either side, there is a chance that they might win it back. So if you want to ensure that this doesn't happen, you might want to defend. Let's say that bishop wasn't here. Okay, let's say that bishop was like here or something. Let's say that this bishop doesn't exist. So let's say defend your b pawns, and then they will defend theirs. And if they do not defend theirs, they go do something like this. Then you can take this pawn. Okay. I know it hangs a queen. I played that move, but let's say a bishop wasn't there, and you could defend that pawn with a queen. Actually, you could defend that pawn with a queen without hanging the queen. You could just go here. Oh no, never mind. You can't. Look at the b1. Yeah. This move gives away the advantage because you just need to attack things before grabbing the pawn. You see how the engine here wants to do this? You see how the engine wants to do this? And like, if they take like this, then your knight is just dancing around the board, and everything is just hanging. Like you can't do anything. You're gonna win stuff up. Okay, thank you chess.com. Not good. You should just play in the center. No, bishop d4. Take, 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 take. And this is the position we have. White, in all of this chaos, is miraculously winning. White has 5 pawns, black has 5 pawns. White is winning because black hasn't developed a bishop, and now as we speak about it, he develops the bishop to the absolutely worst square possible because of rook e6. And it displayed in the game. This bishop was the hero bishop all along. It was defending the only square that the rook could create a threat. And now, that threat has arrived, and queen f7, and the game is lost. How is the game lost? King h8, rook takes g6, king g7, you bring the rook here and you win the queen, but instead of winning the queen, he goes for the mate, queen f3 check, king e5, rook takes f7, he takes the queen at the expense of the horse, and then takes the bishop, then takes the pawn with check, then goes here, queen c3 check, then goes here, and goes here. Rook e6, queen a3 check, king e5, queen e3 check, king d6, we're gonna have a repetition? No, queen a7, rook e1 check, that's why the left was so important, but I hoped it was h3 and not this left. King g2, and c5. Queen takes a6 check, king e5, queen a5, forking, h4, pushing the pawns, and a rook sacrifice for absolutely no reason. Now, if we saw this, that would have been perfect. And then you just win the race, like absolutely nothing that black can do. But no, we just have a rook sag, nothing else. King c4, promote to queen, king b4, and mate. Let's go to the next game. Okay, so for the next 2 games, we have the YouTuber Outright Ignite versus a Canadian Vertigo 711. This battle was fantastic. In this battle, I actually joined mid game and I didn't see the whole battle. So e4 d5 Scandinavian defense, already a wrong step in the wrong direction. Because sorry, I'm being texted. I've had my computer next to me and I'm just being texted. Anyway, it's on my computer even. It's like my brother's. Anyway, but we're writing down a new computer to, for me to get passed down to get a new computer. I don't know. Anyways, the Scandinavian, it's bad. This is mainline Scandinavian. And everybody here goes like this. And this is what called us. Because you attack the queen, it's very good, but I guess this, you just go here. But Scandinavian will stop being, you'll stop seeing the Scandinavian very easily. Because the queen move can easily be exploded. Like, you won't see e4 d5 at 1300 or 1400 any longer. Maybe you'll see it in some games, but not always. It's very rare. I have never seen it past 800. So if the 1000 here is watching, play something more theoretical, play something that's more reliable, like the French defense or the Sicilian. Now, you better be a little high rated to play the Sicilian, or even play like a G6 system, or I don't know, the King's Indian setup. That's not a King's Indian. Or like the Perk we just discussed, or even E5, which would transpose to like a Russian or a mainline Italian or Spanish, or the absolute opening that I hate because it's I don't hate it like that bad, but I don't like it. It's a bad opening. The Caracan, but I don't like it too much. Or if you want to be a disrespectful piece of shit, play this, or this, or this, or this. You play the Scandinavian, and we're on the mainland Scandinavian with Queen A5, Knight F3, Knight F6, Bishop C4. Fast development by White. I really like what Cole is doing here. Black is doing the same. Castles E6. Keep in mind, Cold is 800, by the way. So, we need to be a little lenient. D3. Bishop E7, H3. Castles, Bishop E3. C6, A4. Now, here C5 would have probably been a little bit more better. Because even if they play like the move A4 here, you can just develop the knight. And you also got a knight behind the c-pawn, which is generally considered an advantage in d4 positions. But in e4, not as much, but it looks way better because you can support the center with a flank pawn. c6, a4, knight b7, knight e4, rook after d8, bishop d4, knight takes e4, pawn takes e4, bishop takes e4. Free pawn for the black side. It's fine. Call one to lose instantly. Not right? Call one to lose instantly. You'll never lose instantly. I mean... okay, sorry for the phone like glitching a little bit there because my phone just switched arrangements. Anyway. F3. Oh god. F3. I think F3 was top engine. No, this was top engine. Absurd. Bishop G6 and F4. Oh boy. Oh, it's funny, you can rethread the same thing. Queen A5. Queen A5. Bishop D3. Queen A5. Queen is just doing slingshots everywhere. Rook F3. Rook lift. I'm surprised Cole knows about a rook lift. Normally you use this for like 1,000 and above, but no. Cole knows his stuff. He knows. Bishop H5. Yeah, that's the reason you don't want to bring your rook out when your queen is on its diagonal because you can get pinned like this. Actually, it's probably like a win of the rook unless you play g4, which first of all looks bogus because you're just severely weakening the king, but it's the only choice you have instead of losing more material. Bishop g6. Bishop takes g6. Trading when down material. That is very bad. And is that top engine? No, it's not. You should have attacked the queen instead. H takes c6 and f5. This is awful. Now the knight can jump in. And you're not scared to destroy with a knight. You're not scared of like this, and this. At the end of the day, you're up a piece. You use that piece. And it's a bishop, which is even worse. Bishop c5. Oh no, it's over. Oh, he's trading. f6. Oh, he's trading, guys. Rook e3. Also, this is very principled, by the way. Rather than opening a front to the king, which is still not bad at all, you could just replace your rook there. He decides to push, so he doesn't have to deal with a rook having an open file there anymore. Very principled, I have to say. Rook e3. Knight b6. And he takes the pawn. And he loses this. It doesn't even... Oh boy. Oh, this is over. This is probably made. Yeah, this is 100% made. Black is just cashing in on his investments. There's red arrows everywhere. He loses the queen. Mate in 4. Turns to a mate in 5 somehow. And mate. Very unfortunate for Cole here. But he might make a comeback next game. So let's go to the next game then. And for the final YouTuber game, we are gonna have Cole versus Young Trumpy, who's like 400. Okay, so around that level. 17 move long game. It's gonna be kind of short, but yeah. E4. Now Cole has shown his colors. He plays the Caracan. The Caracan. I've seen Cole play the Italian and the Caracan. Now, if you want to play against the Caracan, if you want to play against Caracan players, by not playing into the Caracan, just play D4. And if they try to go for a Caracan, play C4. And they go for a Caracan anyway, you take. Now it's a Slav defense. Do you know how to play the Slav defense? No. Because it's got way too much theory. Actually, not that much theory, but it's theory for like 1,000 plus. Not for 800s. But the Slav has simple ideas like developing the bishops, developing the knights, you know, like this. It's kind of symmetrical now. Developing the queens, and then like, oh, not that one. It's a symmetrical, and then you go here, then you go here, then you go here. Like, it's not too much, but it's around the lines that it can bring. But no, have a C6 Caracan. Okay, what is D3? If you want to play an E4 and then go for C6, play for the love of God at D4. Okay. And then walk into this. What you want to do here is either play the fantasy, which is very difficult to crack in the right hands, or play advance. And if you go for this, you go for the tall variation. You know the tall variation? It's very awesome. I've played it once. It was awesome. But why D3? Now black is gonna go for D5. And now it's this weird Caracan. Now F5, absurd, but makes sense. As absurd as this looks, after the knight moves, you will either support it with this, and then play a nice little bishop here. And then if they keep developing, you're gonna go here. And you just have a nice little clamp on the center, and then you're gonna either play this absurd move, or even develop. And look at this! I know it says plus 1.1. It's because the king is still on the center. If white keeps developing, it's no longer plus 1. It's plus 0.4. Okay? Cool. That's why F5 is so good. In the right hands, of course. Okay. Instead of that, we have Bishop F5. Not a bad move. That's actually theory in the Caracan defense. In the advanced variation. Mind you. F3. That's a horrible move. For a bunch of reasons. Number one, if you end up in this position, you might want to attack the bishop and then make it move away, like here, for example. Number two, this weakens the king for seemingly no reason. Now the engine wants this. The idea is that you want to develop and go here, and if white doesn't do anything, then you're just gonna keep developing because yeah. Bishop b3. 97, G4. Absurd, but white has shown his colors, and he is going to go on a king-side attack. Bishop G6, Bishop G5, and Bishop E7, interposing, take, with the knight. Very principled. Call is, because actually, most people here take with the queen and develop the queen faster. But some people are arguing that this move is bad, but it's not bad. It's actually not bad. This might give the idea that black wants to castle queenside and might suppress the attack over here, but then black will just go here. And even if you post, then I'm just gonna take, and I'll decide which way to castle by taking a free pawn. Taking the queen is more flexible. Taking with the knight is a little bit more more principled, I have to say. There's a difference between these two. Okay, so knight takes e7. Knight d6 jack. That's probably one of the problems with knight take with the knight, but it's still good. Black still has some advantage. Yeah, he takes a pawn, but then you win it back immediately. like this. There's a better move here. It was this, and then this. You win a knight. Congrats. But no, Cole doesn't see that, and instead goes here, which is good, in my opinion. It's very good for the 800 to spot a king, a check, which forces the king to move, which is a very bad sec. Knight d5, queen b3, and hangs a rook. Cole spots that and is minus 14. A king d2, rook b8, queen c3, knight takes c3, and it's game over. Instead of fighting this, and then after that, he finds the queen capture, which is way more demoralizing. Because, oh, fuck, I'm sorry about this again. Because he knows after this, he will resign. And that's why he did not take with the queen. Because it's way more demoralizing to play an endgame down a queen and a rook. Ooh, that was amazing. And for the final game, I won't show you the people's names. And I won't show you the results till the end of the game. And I won't say the ratings either. You're gonna have to guess that. Alright. This was a long game, so buckle up. Grab snacks. Actually, you've grabbed snacks in the introduction. Anyway. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, the Italian game. The Italian game is a very popular opening amongst beginners, intermediates, advanced intermediates, and experts, and even grandmaster levels, and even ensigns sometimes. Because the plans are simple. Masters use it for draws, or, for fried liver and newbies, and stuff like that. D6, though, is one of the main lines. Actually, it's not. Now, the gioco piano is the main line. Ideas to, kill the position very quickly. If you remember, I made a video a long time ago that if you want to succeed with the Italian, you might want to play, the C3, D4 Italian. Because if you don't do anything about it, then this center is enormous. I mean, I made a video about that. Go check it out. We have a quick castle by white. Simple. That is one of the Italian ideas. Knight f6. Puts pressure on the pawn. Knight c5 going for a fried liver attack. In move 4. Fried liver normally happens earlier, but if the fried liver happens after a move the fried liver, for those that are wondering, is this happens on move 4, and then it's bunch of theory and stuff. No, if it happens way earlier, it's a problem. Queen d7 doesn't solve the problem. You have to go on a fried liver main line. But black doesn't know that. So queen d7. Actually, here, that was a DM. Ignore that. Here, moving the rook is a mistake because of this. And you lose the rook either way. But here's the problem. Check the material. White won before this. White won 2 pawns for 2 pieces. The material is +1 for white. Why? Because 2 pieces are better than a rook. That's why. I told you white misplayed this very badly. Because 2 pieces, better control than just a rook and a pawn. If it was 2 bishops, that would have been even worse of a trade. 2 knights, still. But 2 pieces for a rook and a pawn? Now let's ignore the extra pawn, okay? The extra pawn doesn't matter. Again, sorry with the thing doing that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm moving my hand way too much because I'm tired from yesterday. I stayed all the way to 1 a.m. Then I slept. Before I was about to close Discord. Anyway, knight c3, principled, develops the knight. Knight d4. I want to do that knight jump. Yeah. Because, taking that post and stuff like that. I know the engine likes it, probably. It's no, the engine doesn't like it. The engine gives away a lot of advantage. So just develop. That's what the engine wants. Okay, d3. Basically justifying that move. Knight f6, bishop e3. Knight b5, your knight has to go. Queen d2. knight c4, f3. And doesn't even take the bishop. Just, quick rule of thumb, do this. You win. You know why you win? Count the pieces. 2 rooks, 1 queen, 1 knight for white. 2 bishops, 1 knight, 1 queen, 1 rook. Who has more pieces? Black. And not only that, black has the bishop here. And the rooks are endgame pieces. So black will use the minor pieces far more easily than the rooks, because they're later endgame pieces. That's why if you lose a rook for 2 pieces and a pawn, that's why if you lose a rook and a pawn for 2 pieces, it doesn't kill your evaluation bar. So don't resign if that happens, okay? It's way better. Trust me. Knight takes b5. Queen takes c3, sorry. Knight takes b5. Never mind. That's the wrong one. Knight f6, knight takes b5, queen takes b5, c4. Very aggressive. Creates a backwards pawn, but I don't know if black will be able to exploit that any way possible. Queen a6, b4, trying to trap the queen. Bishop e6, and b5. The queen is stranded on the queen side. Queen a3, rook a to b1, rook d8. Traps the queen. But did white misclick? Did white misclick this move? You have to lose a couple of pawns to save your queen. If you do not, you lose the queen. Instead of that, rook b4. Still possibly traps the queen, but does it slowly. d5. Rook c1 doesn't see the thing, and he takes the pawn top engine move! What? This is top engine, because if you take, then you take, and you can't take back, so you gotta go here. And then you take like this, and then there's check, and you gotta go here. And then boom, and probably take this, and yes, you can get checked. Yes, you can get checked. A million times you can get checked. At the end of the day, you're running to safety. You can block, and there's no more checks. And if they try to give checks, you give the checks. And you give the checks. And that's mate, probably. That is top engine move. Second line of the engine, actually. Queen c2 and finds the rook capture. D takes c4. Bishop takes c4. Queen takes c4. And queen takes c4. And rook takes c4. And when the dust settles, black is completely winning. You just have to play this. Stop any counterplay. Ever. Instead of that, you play rook d3. Basically saying, hello, white dark squared bishop. How about you go capture all of my pawns? And then have a 2-on-1 majority on the queen side. I don't know why the phone flipped this time. I only move my hand very lightly, but it just does that. I don't know why. I promise I'll try to fix it. And the bishop finds the pawn. Bishop e7. Rook c8 sack, and king goes here. King is more active. The black king is way more active. Black king is way more active in the endgame. Generally, they decided to get the kings active in the endgame is probably the one that's going to win. The one that's get their kings active faster than the other. The white king has to spend 2 tempi to get into the game. And try to equalize with black. For example, you go here, then you go here. You go like all the way here. You're just going to slowly bring your pieces, cut off the king if needed, and slowly win the game. I mean, my god, you're just going to win. You can't defend the pawn. You can go here, but yes, you can win this pawn. But I'll win your pawn. You could take here, take here, take here, but then I'll go here. And then what? I'll just block you. You can give this check. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to block. You can give this check too. But I'm just going to take your rook because I'm dumb. And I'm trash. As you can see, you cannot save this pawn. And now we have a passed pawn. Instead of all that, rook c1 all the way back. Bishop a3, rook c4, and rook d1 check. Don't give checks for no reason. Now the king is going to get active. King F2. Rook D2 check. King A3. Hanging 2 pawns. Which pawn do you take? Of course you take the one on the queen side. Yes, he does it. Bishop B6. Not bishop B6. Anchoring the bishop and the pawn. Bishop C1 check. Hanging completely the bishop. Ah. Oh no. White is winning. White is not winning. Bishop F4. Rook C7 sack. He wins a pawn. No, you should have gone here. Oh wait, you can't even go here. That's illegal. Why can't you go here? Oh, because of the rook. You should have gone here, and that happened. You go here, and you win. Instead of that, you go King D6. Hanging all the pawns. King C6. You hang another pawn. Rook E3. King C2. Oh boy. You hang this. It's a windmill. Oh boy. White's idea is I sack a rook and a bishop for the pawn, which will become a queen, and it will be 3 pieces against the queen. Now, me and the people were discussing if this was a correct idea or not. I said it's correct because you get the queen, but 3 minor pieces can coordinate way better than the queen. But rook knight and bishop in this case can coordinate way better than the queen. But can the player find that coordination? Rook takes a7, b8 equals queen, rook takes c7 check. King d3 and knight d7 attacks the queen, and now the counterplay has begun. Black is better, but has to find why, because he has to coordinate his pieces. If those pieces do not coordinate, then the king will promote another queen. Because white has more pawns. King c6. Honestly, I would have preferred if we saw like something like this, and then, you know, King c6. Queen c4. Knight c5 counter check. King c2. Bishop b6. King b6. Queen a2. Knight d7 discover check. King b1. Bishop f4. Queen b2 check. King c5. Queen c2 check. King b6. Repetition? No. King b6. Queen b4 check. King c6. Queen c4 check. King d6. Queen a6 check, King e7, Queen a3 check, King d8, Queen a8 check, King e7, Queen a3 check. This is gonna happen for a while. No repetitions, no repetitions. G4, and white is losing completely because you hang your queen. It was a game while it lasted, folks. Proceeds to take the rook with the queen, and proceeds to go on a completely losing bishop and knight and couple pawns versus king and pawns. Was a good game while it lasted, guys. Very good game. Black proceeded to capture all the remaining pawns and make sure he doesn't lose this pawn, because he probably doesn't know how to do the bishop and knight checkmate. Even I don't even know how to do it. And proceeds to methodically trap the king in the corner by cutting him off the files and then making a draw by stalemate. I told you. If you stayed all the way till the end of this video, congratulations. I knew you'd like it. Now get out of here. I'll see you in the next video.